what it do, what the business is.
It's another week in the books. It's the OndeckTV podcast. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, the Husky Vegan, a.k.a. Nipsey Brussel. Follow me, Animal_Brown on Instagram, Twitter, and Snap if you're looking for me.
I am Spike Lou on all of the foresaid mentioned sites.
Okay.
Mxtra.
Producer Mxtra, where you at, buddy?
I am your boy Mxtra3 on all things social media. Mxtra stands for Mxtra Drip.
Yep.
Go.
We're gonna leave that off. We're gonna edit that out.
A little extra drip on there this week, didn't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
What you have on deck, Mxtra?
This weekend, actually spent some time with my brother. We hung out a little bit. Nothing major. Went to an art show.
Your twin brother.
Yes.
People still get y'all confused.
Yes. They do, yeah.
Interesting.
I went to this photographer that I was introduced to had a showing downtown. It was pretty cool, so I went to that.
Dope.
Swaggy.
I'm here for that. Lou, what you have on deck?
I was slow motion. I was excited to get a new episode of Billions in this weekend. Got to try out Apple TV. Y'all were big proponents of that. I tested it out.
Life-changing.
It is fire.
Apple
much-
TV is fire.
That much closer to cutting the cord, 100%. So I'm an advocate now for Apple TV. What about your weekend, sir?
Man, I tried. Shout out to Styles P. I went to his. You know he has an online pharmacy.
Yes.
The first health food black-owned pharmacy.
Yep.
I ordered some black seed oil. It came in. It tasted disgusting.
That is a fact.
Yeah, like it's really hard to hit, but I feel 10 years younger already. I've only been trying it for like a week, and I look 10 years younger.
Black seed oil.
Yeah, it cures everything but death. Apparently, that's what they say.
You get that in your CBD, and you're just straight out here.
That's
right?
what I'm saying. You
Ready
live to be
for
200
war.
years old.
You're ready for war out here.
I also tried to watch that Michael Jackson documentary on HBO. I made it to the 42-minute mark, and I got out of there as fast as I could.
As a Michael Jackson fan, is that what made you want to get out of it, or did you just not believe it?
No, none of that. It was just the subject matter was too much. I'm
It's
good.
graphic in nature.
Yeah, I'm good.
You watched it?
I'm nothing I'm trying to
Heard
see.
about it.
Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough watch. Matter of fact, I seen somebody say after they watched that, they deleted all their Michael Jackson music and then added R. Kelly music back on. Yeah. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, I had somebody text me and said that he's worse than R. Kelly.
That's how bad it was. I got it at the 40-minute mark. I'm sorry, Thriller too cold. I got to keep listening to that shit. I don't need nothing to taint that image right there. It's rough.
I ain't never checking that out.
Yeah, don't.
I ain't watching R. Kelly. I ain't watching that at all.
No, R. Kelly was funny, though.
I can see that. R. Kelly been funny with Gail.
That's
That's been some of the funniest shit you gonna see.
I don't know how hard I know, man.
Man, if that don't scream guilty, before we get into it, like, you can't go like to 10 like that. Like the video, the documentary came out.
That's one thing.
You really can't go to 10 like that if Gail ain't gonna engage you. If she gonna sit there like with the
Unbothered face.
really
Robert. Yeah.
Nah, that was funny.
It was. All right, let's get to this music shit, man. A lot of stuff to talk about. First things first, we're going to talk about TDE. Something's brewing over at TDE headquarters, guys. Top Dog Entertainment. In addition to Schoolboy dropping his new single, Num Num Juice, him, Kendrick Lamar, and Ab-Soul all changed their avatars to solid colors at the same time. So Kendrick's is all black, Schoolboy's is yellow, and Ab-Soul is like a white brick. So two-part question. What did you think of the Schoolboy single, number one? And number two, what is your best guess at what TDE may have cooking?
I love that Schoolboy single, and I may be a little biased because I picked him to be very successful this year, and I picked him to stand out amongst the TDE people and to take a level up in the game. But I like the song. I think that he's playing into what the market is doing right now. Num Num Juice, to me, is him dumbing down his flow. He's a high-end artist, and when we talking about bars, like, he can boil you down if he needs to, but I feel like this song didn't require that. But what it did require was some repetitiveness, some catchy stuff that the kids are doing nowadays,
sure.
And that's what Num Num Juice is, so I think that sets the tone for him for the summer to come out and have that blockbuster album that I'm waiting on. Changing the colors of the albums, or excuse me, the avatars.
Yep.
TDE promotion, I think that's something that maybe an album's coming, and those probably like they do on Instagram when they show you the little blocks of the picture before they reveal the whole thing. So it's probably somebody album cover, whoever coming next, album cover coming out, and they're just showing you different parts of that. That's my guess as to what it is, but I do think something is right around the corner. Not a Kendrick Lamar, not a Schoolboy yet. Maybe the new guy that they signed, I can't think of his name right now, it escapes me. or maybe some scissor, something of that nature, just to get the summer hot. And then once that starts to roll in around May is when you get the Kendrick Lamar's or when you get the Schoolboy Q.
First of all, the Schoolboy Q song is banging. I heard it on satellite radio, but I got in the car in the middle of the song, so I didn't know who it was. And I was like, damn, whoever song this shit kind of hard. I was like, what's this? And it was like, it's a new Schoolboy. I was like, oh, no, that shit is riding. And to your point, it is a little bit on the quote-unquote dumbed-down scale, similar to the way J-Rock did Win last year. Mm-hmm. He hadn't done a single like that before. You could tell he was helped with Kendrick. There was a little bit of help with that to make it kind of a crossover joint. I feel like this is giving me that same vibe. But the song is fire. Now, in terms of what they may be having cooking up, now listen, you gave your prediction that you think Schoolboy's going to do his thing this year. I also gave my prediction that we get that Black Hippie this year. And look at the three people who's changed their avatar. Nobody else did. It's Kendrick, it's Schoolboy, and it was Ab-Soul. Now, listen, that's all we need in life, y'all. My one wish for 2019 is to get that Black Hippies, because nobody else changed it. Isaiah Rashad shit's still the same.
J-Rock didn't change his, though, did he?
Is J-Rock Black Hippie, too?
Gotta be.
Fuck.
He the first one now.
It just need to be them three.
Don't do J-Rock.
For the sake of my argument.
Don't do J-Rock any kind of way.
Can't do it.
For the sake of my argument, I'm going to hold out hope that this is the Black Hippie album that we've been waiting on. But to your point, it may be pieces of an album cover, because Kendrick's was just a black screen. However, the image on Schoolboy is like a marble type of joint, and then Ab-Soul was like a white brick.
That's what made me think they taking little pieces of a bigger picture and putting it together, and that also plays into the TDE Voltron, we all stick together type family deal that they got going on. I think that all of them do a great job. We don't see it everywhere else of getting behind each other when they got a project coming, an album coming. You all like. When MMG per se was in their heyday and Meek was hot and Wale was hot, you had clashes at the top because both of those are A-list, A-type personalities. Yeah. I feel that you have those same personalities at TDE, but it's trickled down from the top with Top Dog and with Punch as far as what he put out there for them and what they should do as a company. And I think everybody toed that line, and in towing that line, it makes TDE a lot more successful than other conglomerates that we see today.
Yeah, they move as in unison, which is dope. The one time you kind of saw a little bit of riff was when your girl was like, I'm out. I think she fake retired once or twice.
Yeah,
SZA fake retired, and then we thought Isaiah Rashad got kicked off the tour.
That was us hating, though. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah, because he needs to be kicked off the tour. That's probably why I was thinking. I was just really hoping.
You're a big Isaiah Rashad hater.
Yeah, he's trash.
I've came around.
Yeah. How?
I came around. I went back and listened to the project. What's the name of it?
Son's Tirade?
Yeah, that one.
That shit got me.
I like it.
Man,
I like
that. Maybe I was in a good mood that day or something, but I like that project.
I'm not as amped about this Schoolboy single as you guys are. I don't like the fact that he dumbed down.
You got a wizard show.
Yeah. I don't like he dumbed down. He don't have to dumb down. But, I mean, it wasn't bad, but I wasn't like, oh, it's banging. Like, it's a little disappointing to me.
That shit banging, and the video was hard. The video was tough. I like the references, the pop culture references in the video. That shit clean as fuck. I think the single is hard, and it's like a nice ride too. It's like a nice whip single, like something you can ride to in the whip.
For this time of year, it's perfect for this time of year to prep you up for the summertime. What don't you like about it? You said it's too dumbed down?
Well, I don't like the fact that it has to, like, the sound didn't catch me when I first heard it. Like, for it to be a single, it didn't catch me. Like, Win caught me instantly.
Yeah.
This is not Win.
But this is his attempt at a win.
Yeah, but it's a loss in that attempt.
Over or under 50% chance these albums come out in a short span, a la Good Music last year.
They don't have to do that. I think that there was more behind Kanye's 7-album thing that had to do with his deal that we see now that he's in negotiations with trying to get out of his deal. I think that had to do with that. And he didn't want to put 7 albums out, just like no creator probably wants to rush that process. And I think TDE has a formula, like we just spoke of, that they are sticking to, and they're going to drop one artist, and they're going to wait. They're going to let that circulate, and they'll drop another artist that's probably in a different genre, and they'll go from there. I don't think that they're going to rush and give you that 7. I don't think that 7 thing is going to catch on as much as we would like it to.
Not necessarily having them 7 tracks, but maybe them just dropping in continuation.
No, back to back. That's what I meant. I misspoke. I didn't mean the 7 track. I meant back to back, like trying to do a whole month. I think the TDE is of the thought process that they would rather do the whole summer as opposed to 6 weeks.
That shit was dope, though. I feel like that's a moment in hip hop, though. The only reason I think that they wouldn't do that is because they would be looked at as biting. It was too close to what Good Music just did.
I'm gonna be real with you. I think that most creators would say that they like Tiana Taylor.
Okay.
Tiana Taylor didn't like that process. Pusha T didn't like that process. Nas didn't like that process. I think that the guys that are dropping the albums when we speaking of TDE are too creatively involved, and they want to be like, it's art behind what they doing. You know,
Right,
like,
for
they
sure.
ain't just rapping. In
It's
my
art behind
opinion.
good music. Don't do that.
It
Don't do Ye
is,
any
but
kind of way. You see him in church.
I ain't seen none of them. I've been
You see 'em in
forcibly trying
church?
to miss that. But what I'm saying is, and I don't want to get into a Kanye rant or talk, but I think that his agenda to get those 7 albums out had less to do with it being a moment, like you said. It just happened to be that because it was Kanye.
No, you just hating because it was Kanye.
No, I'm just saying
bro.
it happened to be a moment because it was Kanye. I don't think it would be a moment, 1, for TDE because it would be Biden. 2, because creatively they don't work that fast, so they wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
That's why I say it wouldn't happen.
Yeah, my whole thing is I don't think it's going to be rapidly or consecutive back to back like that, but they have to make some noise this year for sure.
Yeah.
All you need is a Kendrick album.
No, they have to. I mean, people want a Kendrick album, but I'm saying as a collective, they have to make some noise. Like people want to hear Schoolboy and Ab-Soul.
That's a fact, but like
Yeah.
if they were if their backs were against the wall and they threw out a dud with whatever's coming, just drop a Kendrick album.
I mean, yeah, you always have that
always
to
gonna
fall
work.
back on. That's a fact. But I do think, like you said, they need to make some noise. I think it's that Black Hippie shit coming. I'm holding that. I'm gonna call that from now until the end of time until I'm right. God damn it.
Yeah. I mean, the fans will love it. I
The
mean,
fans
but
will love
TDEs, they're pretty consistent. I mean, even when Kendrick wasn't out last year, they made noise. They made a lot of splash with the Black Panther soundtrack.
agree.
Absolutely.
And J-Rock album was fire.
And Reason album was fire too.
yes, and Reason. Shout out to
Quiet
them.
as kept. All right, we'll keep our eyes peeled to social media, see what TDE got. Let's take it down south, man. T.I. It's your man, by the way.
It's the King.
King Shouter.
On his IG, he compared himself to the late, great Tupac Shakur. Let me give you the caption. Riddle me this. Who since Tupac has maintained this much consistent diversity within music genres, businesses, and other opportunities? I'll wait, end quote. Now, some listener commented, what about Jay-Z? T.I. responded, respectfully to the GOAT, what major feature film has Jay-Z starred in, end quote.
Fact.
My question is, does T.I. make a fair case to his comparison to Tupac?
When you put it, if you throw the film stuff in there, then I guess yes. But I think at this point in time in 2019, T.I. is like shortballing himself. T.I. could be a bigger person, and it's what I was speaking to when I was talking about the thing with Floyd, when I was talking about the Gucci stuff and some of the stuff that T.I. wastes his time on. The way T.I. articulates himself, the way that T.I. carries himself and is accepted by a mass amount of people, saying that I'm the next Tupac, that ain't really saying much, in my opinion, as far as where he could go. So I think he putting himself in a box, and no, I don't think he the next Tupac just by like saying that I did movies and I did a film. Oh, excuse me, I did a film and I did the album, and I've been keeping it real or whatever it is that he's comparing it to. But what I will say is that I just think that he's putting himself down a notch some by saying that I was the next Tupac. Tupac died before he got to a point where T.I. is, as far as activism, as far as being able to speak on some of the things that he was never able to fully think out. The whole thug life thing that Tupac was talking about, a lot of these were just ideas. T.I. is of the age where he can act on these ideas. He can be a way bigger figure than Tupac was because he has the rest of his time in front of him.
Add T.I. to the list of, 40 rappers who have compared themselves to Tupac. That seems to be like the thing to do. We heard Troy Ave do it that much recently.
See what I'm saying?
You want to go back, we can say Ja Rule when he said it. Okay, here's the thing. When you hear the headline, T.I. compares himself to Tupac, you just roll your eye. You go, come on, man. That's because Tupac was a beloved figure. He was larger than life. And you can attribute that to because he did die early. Is that gives that mystique, that adds to it. But he also has been in classic movies. He has classic records, and he was big in activism. So he was a larger-than-life figure. So when people say, man, who other than Tupac, like me, bro, don't nobody be want to hear that shit. However, he does have a point. To be that well-known and that consistent over this long of time in music, film, and business entrepreneurship, that is dope. But he's not the only one, though. Ice Cube's done it. Ludacris has done it. Yes, no, Jay-Z hasn't had a film or he hasn't been in a film or whatnot, but still, like, that shit, who gives a shit?
Well,
at the end of the day, when it comes to that's probably the weakest thing on the list.
Well, that's where his comparison would be more so to Tupac over a Jay-Z or the people that you mentioned, is because he does more activism. He speaks more to the things that Tupac was trying to do. When Tupac was talking about getting the Bloods and the Crips together, and we doing this, and we're not going to have any violence in the communities, and things that Tupac was talking about before he died, T.I. is of that same ilk. But I think to stop there and say that's what I am would be shortchanging himself. Like I said, those other people that you're talking about, yeah, they have a lot of businesses, they've been in feature films, and they do a lot for the communities. They just don't put themselves on Front Street like a T.I. would or like a Tupac would.
Yeah, but it's too. Here's the thing: he'll never be Pac because Pac.
He can be bigger than Tupac.
No, he can't. Pac
Yeah,
went
he can.
diamond. He can't. T.I.'s not in no classic film.
It's
he can't.
bigger than a musical conversation, though, and that's why I think T.I. is limiting himself there. Musically, no, he can never be Tupac, but he has T.I. what, 30, 35 years old? He got years ahead of him to do way more than what Tupac had as far as just a thought. He could do all of those things.
Nah, I think Tupac crossed over globally.
Well,
But you talking about music though.
No, I'm saying period. His likeness is. You just
But
saw
the reason
T.I.
that-
with the Tupac outfit on. If you had somebody do a T.I. memorial, what fit are they putting on? What classic fit are
that's
they
also
putting
because
on?
Tupac died.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's part of the mystique.
That's part of it. And to counterpoint on what you both are saying, I don't think he said he's going to be the next Tupac. I don't think that's what he meant by this comment at all. It's not about being the next Tupac. He just said since Tupac, name me another person. So it's not about him being the next. And every category that you named that Pac, whatever lane excelled in, Tip has done it.
Not to this level though.
I just think that he's shortchanging himself in that comparison. That's all I think. Like he's shortchanging himself. Tupac was a big figure.
He's a legend.
He is
Yeah,
a
how's that a
legend.
shortchange when you compare yourself to a legend?
He is a legend. All of the things in which you said, but he died early, as both of you have said, and was not able to do, as I just said, a lot of the things that he wanted to do, and a lot of those ideas is what made Tupac and what made Tupac live on. The ideas. T.I. can act on those ideas, and that would make him a bigger martyr, you would say, or whatever.
But here's the difference, though. The fact that Tupac accomplished all of that in such a short period of time. No, I'm talking career. I'm talking getting shot. I'm talking about shooting at the police. I'm talking about doing a bid. I'm just saying the movie. Like, just look at his life as a movie.
Right.
Like, it's ridiculous. And then when you realize the time frame in which all of that occurred,
Exactly.
you're like, shit. Like, in a classic movie, classic albums, this, that, the other, activism, the whole nine. So you have to look at it in a bubble in terms of like compartmentalize how long he did it. It was a very short time. So yeah, if T.I. does do this over 30 years and he matches what Tupac did in 6, then it's not the same. I just really wish people would stop comparing themselves to Pac. Like, what's the point? Did somebody ask him this?
Well, he's been doing this for a long time.
Tupac has been a big influence.
Yeah, he was a big influence.
It's the same thing with LeBron and Jordan. I mean, you're going to compare yourself to who you feel like is the best
Right.
ever.
You can go back to like Urban Legend and hear him say something about Tupac.
Yeah.
So this is not new. It's just new now because he's brought it up again. But I mean, he has a point.
I think the King continues to shortchange himself, man. Like
I don't see how you shortchange yourself when it's a legend that you're comparing yourself
Yeah,
to.
that's rough. That's the wrong word you're looking at. I understand what you're saying.
I don't get it.
He may sell himself short in terms of the other things that he could accomplish that Pac maybe never even kind of ventured in. Like Pac didn't have a TV show, like kind of stuff like that.
Exactly.
If we're talking just different facets.
Shortchanging himself.
Okay, I see what you're
mean.
saying.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Please stop comparing. Let that be the last person compare this.
Hey man,
Pac.
King can do whatever you want, man. Tip him riding with you, baby.
Fuck. All right, man.
Best rap in Atlanta history,
It might be.
clearly.
I'm not mad at that. I ain't mad at that. Moving on. If you heard the latest episode of Fresh for Dummies, then you know Kamora Lee Simmons is bringing her Baby Fat clothing brand back. Now, my simple question is, which hip-hop clothing brand do you think could make a return in 2019 and be successful?
I would have to go with Rockaware. And the reason that I would go with Rockaware is because it probably has the most familiar face behind it with Jay. And the trend now is high-end clothing. Jay is probably the closest one that could pull off selling Rockaware, rebranding Rockaware totally as a high-end hip-hop brand. T-shirts, $150, the jeans comparable to like Gucci, and making his stuff comparable to the other high-end brands that all of the young kids are so crazy about now. Give it to a couple young artists, let them wear it, rebrand it, like have your monograms or Rockaway or whatever it may be. Have even some stuff that looks similar to what's popular with Gucci and Louis Vuitton and Versace and the big shoes. Jay-Z is the person that could pull that off because he's already looked at with Beyonce himself, the brand, Rock Nation, what he's built as a luxury brand, Ace of Spades. All of that's luxury in itself. So to relaunch the brand now, to say, you know what, since we are boycotting Gucci and since we're not getting the respect with the stuff that they're rolling out on the runways, I'm going to put the high-end brand out there. I'm going to lace a couple of my title friends with it. You're going to start seeing it in all these videos with the Migos. I think that rebrand would be probably a brilliant move by Jay.
You were right and wrong all at the same time. First of all, he's already kind of done that with the paper planes. The Rock Nation clothes are not cheap.
No,
they're not cheap at all, and they never go on sale. What the fuck? I'm just waiting on the sale so I can cop some shit. I would love to buy it, but it never goes on sale.
Yeah.
So he's already kind of doing that with that. But also, Rockaway already still exists though.
That's true.
But it still exists. It's still a brand that you can buy.
I can find Baby Fat in Walmart.
Nah, no, I don't believe that.
Burlington, yeah, you can.
Yeah, it's used, ain't it?
No, it's not used. Burlington
old
sells
in
new
Burlington.
clothes. It's just backstock.
Okay,
So that's part of the Rockaway stuff.
Nah, Rockaway has an Instagram that is
racist.
active right now, and they have a website that is active where you can order clothes right now.
That's nasty.
Same for Sean John.
That's nasty.
Same for a lot of these brands that are FUBU's coming back. There's a lot of things that because that's the trend now. Oh, we know how to do it. History repeats itself. Shit that was cool back in the day will come back now to be back fly. Here's the thing that you were right on, I will say, though. It's all about who is the person behind it. You can take Puff and put him in front of anything, and he can sell that shit. You can take, just like Fashion Nova's done. Fashion Nova has turned into a legitimate brand by putting their clothes on everybody that's quote-unquote cool. So that's all you really have to do, and you'll get W's like that. So I agree. It don't even really matter what the brand is. What you want to do? You want to do academics? You want to do Echo? You want to do any of that shit? If you put it behind the cool people, it will work. Period.
I don't know about all of them though. Like, you naming some brands like Academics not rocking nowadays. One, because these are academics ruin that name.
And he's a horrible.
Nobody's
dresser.
rocking that. Yeah. Two
Random
just think about
examples.
Echo. That was a big ass rhinoceros. Ain't nobody rocking that though, dude.
You don't
in
know.
2019.
You never know. People
man.
finna rock this baby fat cat.
Can never say.
changing that
Can
cat.
never
She
say
got
never,
to.
man.
Yep.
This era of weirdness, you don't know what's going on.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
as far as this
As I
topic
look
goes,
at your wizard T-shirt.
yeah, shout out to Future. As I look at this topic goes, Sean John has already done this. I don't know if you guys are privy to this information, but Sean John has launched in Bloomingdale's.
Yep.
So they've already taken the reins and doing this as
It's a high-end
Yeah.
Sean John. How it look?
Yeah, I mean it's similar.
Did he fix
Probably different. It
He
better
need
be
to
different material.
Better be different cuts.
You need to fix the cut on them jeans. That's just what I was about to
That's
say.
what I'm saying.
Of course, the jeans are different. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
the same Carpenter 42.
But,
waist jeans.
but I don't know because you would think that now, like, okay, you go in Macy's now. You go to Sean John. All of the cut are wide leg boot cut jeans. It's
I wouldn't know.
2019.
I haven't been to Mason in a minute, but
I'm telling you what it is.
last time I saw Sean John, they were definitely in Bloomingdale's for sure.
Okay, but are there
This was
going to be
like a
better
month ago.
designs? Is what I'm asking.
I didn't see any big boot cut
You
jeans.
didn't see the boot cut shit?
No.
I know I saw them. They got a couple of new people in their ass. They had Block
Yeah.
Boy JB doing some of their ass. They had Derez Deshaun. They should have hit me up for the husky look. I'm hot at them.
Who are you talking about,
Body
Sean John?
that shit. Yeah, tough.
Well, okay, to a better
And-
point. The better point about this then. I don't think that Diddy operates Sean John and
No.
Jay definitely don't operate Rockefeller
Hell
anymore.
no.
I think that it
Sold.
would hit better if it were operated by those people. Like
Oh.
because you just from the fashion rollouts, if you've seen Sean John for the last couple of years, it's out of touch. And to have a website and an Instagram for Rockaway and me not to know about it, like that's trash. So I think that it needs to be like just like you got young people there with Tidal and you got the people behind Revolt, you need to do your clothing brand like that and not source it out overseas to people who like are familiar in that space just because they have a history in doing it and think of a new way to do it.
Well,
Like I think like capsules and those clothing type things, that would be dope for a Rockaway brand or a Sean John brand and how they mail that direct to order stuff that they do.
Right,
now.
right,
Like
right.
you do the whole fit, but you just do it with a brand instead of them getting it from everywhere else.
yeah, that's trash.
I need
You talking about those
What's
trend
trash
boxes?
about- yeah.
That's whack.
So if you had a trend box from a brand that you liked, what's
I would
about
never have a trend box from a brand I like.
Why?
It would cost.
it? You don't go to the mall. What you gonna do?
Listen,
You saving time?
No.
Time is valuable.
But do you know how much a trend box will cost for
For a bougie nigga like
No,
you,
I'm saying-
the brand that you want,
No,
your
I'm
trend
saying,
box, I can't.
Those
I can't
trend
help
boxes
it
be like
because yours gonna be
$45.
expensive.
I'm not.
It's gonna be worth it if it's a brand that you like. Okay,
Brand
I
I like ain't
like
$45
graphic
for
t-shirts.
3 items.
If there was a company that had say, hey, I'm gonna send you 5 graphic t-shirts a month. You give me $9 a month, 12 months. I'm doing that. You may not, but I'm doing that.
Listen, I tell people this all the time, man. Men, it's hard for men to get away with cheap clothes. Okay,
That's true.
and if I'm getting 5 t-shirts from $9.99, they're bound to be cheap.
But you paying for the subscription though, because some you might send all the t-shirts back every month. It's gonna be worth more. But that's getting into the business
right,
process
but-
of what they got
yeah,
going
but
on.
my
What
own-
I'm saying is that would be a good idea.
Yeah. I mean, you're right.
You just bougie.
No, I can't
That's
do
all.
it.
You
But
gotta go
to
touch
Sean
your shit.
John's credit, they always had better designs than all the urban.
They did.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Clothing out at that time. So I
They
think
were.
when he sold them, I don't know who he sold it to, but like I said, in Mason and Bloomingdale's specifically last time I saw it. And they, of course they were, riding the wave with certain trends, So it's different,
That Basquiat little run that they had last year
that was cool.
pretty
People like that. People bought that.
Yeah, I like that.
I ain't seen nobody with a Sean John anything on in
Yeah,
2
me neither.
decades.
Yeah, when I saw it,
Even
a few months ago, I
including
was
Diddy,
Like, yeah. Well, he got his money and got up out of there.
Yeah, he ain't said nothing about
Smart
Sean
man.
John in a long
Yeah,
time.
for sure.
Thank y'all for that fashion rant that nobody wanted from neither one of y'all.
You're welcome. Take that over Fresh for Dummies.
Moving on, we're talking Cash Money, man. CMB. Now, with Drake and Lil Wayne gone from Cash Money, Birdman has introduced
Drake gone?
Yeah, Birdman has introduced the next generation of Cash Money, sorta. Cash Money has signed a joint venture with Young Thug's label YSL, which is home to, of course, Thug, Gunna, Lakeed, other artists like that. Now, add this to what Cash Money has going on the West Coast with Blueface. Did we bury Birdman a little too soon?
We didn't bury him soon enough. If he's dependent, on YSL or whatever the name of Young Thug's label, and the last guy that you mentioned, what was his name?
Lakeed.
Lakeed.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't taking nothing away from Lakeed because I did listen to some of his stuff and he sounds just like Young Thug.
He does.
I don't know if it's good or bad. What I
horrible.
am saying is that we've seen this every 5 or 6 years with Birdman, and that's including going all the way back to the Cash Money days. You would have Juvenile and you would have BG, and then oops, you got Hot Boys and you got Big Timers, and then you got Lil Wayne, and you got whatever it may be. You can go on down the line. He roll out new artists every 4 to 5 years. This is how they do business over there. I can't understand how people continue to do business with them. I can't understand how people are hungry enough in this game to say, I don't want to do this myself. I want to put my destiny in the hands of Birdman, and maybe he will do right by me.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how people are continuing to sign up for that. So, no, I don't think the rollout will work. I think people are over the bullshit as far as it being branded by Cash Money. And what I mean the bullshit is they don't want to buy into Baby anymore. They see, I think that Baby has the bad aura around him now as to when people look into that and they look in that and they see you with that, they figure that you're not smart enough for me to support you.
I'll put it like this. There's a simple reason why people keep signing the dude.
They want to be famous.
I remember when Big Timers used to rap. He always used to say, "I'm not a rapper. I'm a game spitter." Listen, he is running the coldest of game right now for these niggas to steal in 2019 after countless and endless lawsuits still be signing with dudes. So I have to start giving Baby credit for getting like reputable artists that are still looking to sign. I think NBA YoungBoy may be in the mix somewhere. You got Young Thug signing his whole label over, joint venture, whatever the hell you want to call it. You got young boys like Blueface. Like, you still have to keep your finger on the pulse. I have to give him credit. After the Stunner Island got sold or was up for sale, and like after Drake and Lil Wayne dipping out, and of course whenever Nicki's contract is up, she'll be on the first thing smoking out of there. Like, even after all of this, I personally buried Birdman. I said, you can't, what is Birdman with no artist? Nothing. He's reinvented himself with Rich Gang. He's doing it again now with YSL. I got to give him respect. I won't be checking for none of that shit because I don't like Young Thug or Gunna or Lakeed. However, I got to give him props. He's keeping his head above water, dude. Like, kudos to Birdman.
I 100% respect it. I do respect it. I don't get the artist side of it. What I will never understand is the artist side of it. I will never understand Juvenile going back. I would never understand
you
Lil
can understand that.
Wayne not leaving. I can never understand Cash Money or Manny Fresh coming back. I can never understand any of that because the story is always the same. Whether it's telling Wendy Day telling us, whether it's Manny Fresh telling us, whether it's Juvenile telling us for a second time, whether it's Wayne suing for $23 million, the story is the same. And I don't understand how people continue to fall for it.
Well, I think it's different. Well, hopefully it's different when it's a label situation as opposed to just me as an artist by myself.
Keyword.
I mean, this is a partnership.
You know what the key word you said there? Hopefully. Everybody hope Birdman gonna pay them.
No, but I don't see. That's the thing. I don't think it's Birdman. This is because it's a partnership. That means the larger distributor is probably paying them as opposed to Birdman.
You know what? That's a great point, and that's a great point to what you said as well. I think since he doesn't have artists now, since there isn't a Wayne, there isn't a Nicki, there isn't a Drake. All of these headlines, whether it be Stunner Iden getting taken, whether it be Birdman and Wayne in court, then in Live they kissing or hugging or whatever it may be, whether it be he's doing this launch with YSL and Young Thug, none of it's revolved around music other than Jacquees. So if I can keep my name out here, then maybe just hopefully I can fool somebody again one day to sign to me. So maybe that's
Thug and Gunna is a good artist to have.
But I don't think I don't take Young Thug for the type of artist to put his situation with Birdman. I think Young Thug's smarter than I don't think. I don't think that these headlines are real. It goes to what I'm saying. I think that these are floated out there by Cash Money, a parent label, like you may say, in order to keep Cash Money afloat. They have a lot invested in them, so they want these headlines to tie to Cash Money. But when you're talking about the for real paperwork, I don't think Young Thug signing up for that.
Then why would he put the fake headline out? What does he get to gain out of that though?
Right.
The label. Maybe the label incentivizes him in some type of way. Maybe the label incentivizes him. Say, hey, we'll throw more money in your budget if you sign up to do this with them.
Right. That's why
something like that.
Universal probably cut him a check.
Yeah, like you said, if it's the parent company doing it and they trying to keep Cash Money floating, this legacy brand to sign over there with Universal, they tell Young Thug, you hot. Act like you fucking with Birdman. We're going to throw money towards, the young guy name you don't listen to?
Lil Key.
We're going to throw money towards Lil Key. We're going to give money to Blueface Wack if you act like you fucking with him too. We just want to make sure that Cash Money is popping so maybe at some point in time we can continue to get artists over here.
Listen, I feel like they would cut bait, cut ties, and just start with another label.
They got too much invested in Cash Money, man.
Man, labels fall off every day.
I can work with Baby. Like, I can work with Baby, and I know it ain't finna be a high demand for more money or whatever it may be, because as long as I pay Baby, I'm good. He ain't gonna pay nobody. He ain't coming back to ask for no money because he kept all the money that I gave him. He ain't have to divvy it up. Shit.
I'm not gonna lie.
They like their relationship with Baby.
If you'd have asked me 4 years ago, he's in a better position than I thought he would have been if you'd have asked me 4 years ago. With Jacquees. Jacquees got high records. He's making noise for himself.
That's a fact. Cash Money not dead.
That's all I'm saying.
That's a fact. Cash Money not dead.
They're not dead.
I'll never understand how it's not, but they're not.
That's like it's probably something related to fame. If these were unknown artists, then I could see you saying, "Oh, they just want the fame." No, like Young Thug is like he's out here. You know what I'm saying? Gunna is on the way up.
If I'm trying to get my label popping, and Universal come to me and be like, "All right, I'm gonna increase your budget by 50%." Which is a high-ass number. I'm just throwing that out
for sure. Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But if I'm going to increase your budget by such and such percent, if you agree to work with Birdman. All right, cool. All right, boom. We're going to run this headline out there. Young Thug don't know what's going on. All I said was cool. I'm going to work with them. I don't know nothing about this headline, and ain't nobody going to come ask me because, this is the new generation. We don't do interviews, so no one will ever find out about it. You know what I'm saying? So, like, Universal they can get good off doing it. Why they want to keep them afloat, that's a good question.
Ain't no telling.
That's a good question.
Yeah, man, I don't think they go the extra mile just to create this buzz.
They do it all the time. It's the
Birdman.
music business.
I mean,
that's what they do.
Stranger things have occurred.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. I mean, they have a relationship, so I don't know.
This is true, man. Let's get to this music break, man. Who we got on this first joint?
Yes, we have the Los Angeles rapper by the name of Mxtra. A song called "In My Pennies." He should not be confused with Maxo Kareem out of Houston. This is Maxo from L.A. Just dropped a project last Friday called Little Big Man, and this song is called "In My Pennies" off of that project.
Let's hear it. All right, man. That was Mxtra, "In My Pennies." How you feel about that, sir?
That is easily the best song Mxtra has ever picked out since he has been a part of this program, and it's not even close.
So you say.
Yes, it's banging. It's banging. I'm fucking with Max. So I went and checked out the project after the song. The project was dope. Nice little theme to it. I like this a lot.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The song is fire. It's one of those ones where you want to hear more of the artist.
Yep.
So that good job, Maxo. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want out of your record. You want other people to go, man, I got to hear more what dude talking about.
Yeah.
You know, with him, Reason, that's kind of a new West Coast type sound. Like with some of J Rock's album that slowed down.
It's like a
real
East Coast, West
talk.
Coast kind of thing.
It's a new West Coast
I love
type sound.
the
I like it.
The soulfulness of it, and it brings me back into a place where people rapped, and that's
True.
That's what I like.
Agreed.
Sure.
Some of that missing on that Gunna Drip Season Volume 9.
Oh, yeah, speaking of that Gunna, YSL, and Cash Money, that Rich Gang album comes out on the 29th. So this might all be put
this
for that
Young
Rich
Thug?
Gang. I don't know what this. I don't know, bro.
I don't know who on this.
Whoever he just took Instagram pictures with, that's probably who's gonna be all on this shit. Who knows?
The hottest white rapper out with gold teeth.
All of that.
What? He has one of those.
You used to.
Probably.
Several of
Good
those.
God.
Several times over.
Let's get to the topic at hand, man. We're talking sophomore slumps. This is the March Madness series that we have going on, episode 2. In case you missed it, last week, episode 1 was the 2019 XXL freshman class prediction show.
Yep.
Go get that if you sleep. This go around, we talking sophomore slumps, dude.
Yep, our March Madness series, like you said, going through the March, all through March, everything from freshman, sophomore, juniors, and seniors. Next year we'll do those. Well, excuse me, next week. But what you have for?
Now, sophomore slumps, listen, guys, people come out the gate heavy and with their debut albums. A lot of people say they've been waiting their whole life to make that project. That's the cliche thing to say for your debut album, especially when it comes out fire. Now, you can't say the same thing about your second album. And a lot of times people come out, man, and they fuck up, they slip up. It's not quite the same magic. We've got several albums to choose from for this example. When you hear the term sophomore slump when it comes to hip-hop albums, what is an album that comes to mind?
We were doing the pre-production for this, and I think it was unanimously said, even when you Google sophomore slumps, this pops up. That Young Guns with the Adidas, or they trying to do their Run DMC thing on there.
The Brother from Another album.
my
On
God.
the cover of that, man.
Tragic.
And it was really because that first album was so good, and we had a idea of what we thought the Young Guns were. The music that they would bring, the grittiness and everything that was to that. And man, they come out with the Better Love joint, and we like, dude, what is this?
Yeah.
And not only do you hit me with the Better Love single, you give me a whole album of Better Love type like records. Like, nah, bruh. So that's one of the ones that really just jump out to me.
That album is so some slaw. And like
So bad.
Here's the thing though. The first, and maybe that's the real Young Guns, because the first album really slick surprised us. Like, yeah, people fuck with Young Chris to a certain extent up until that point. Now they fucked with him. Neef was cool, but nobody expected. If I would have told you, hey, watch them Young Guns, nobody was calling them ahead of time. There wasn't one person like, y'all fuck with Jay and Beans. Watch what Young Guns do.
There's one person on earth that was.
Who?
Lil Larry.
Yeah.
He was.
Lil Larry always.
He rep everybody, though.
Exactly. Lil Larry was doing.
And everybody in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Because they had buzz before,
For sure. That's a fact. But just aside from my guy Dipset, nobody else was talking about Young Guns. And they came out the gates heavy with that shit. That shit was fire. And they might have been smelling themselves on the second album to think it was cool enough to dress alike and do it. They didn't have to do any of that
You
shit.
think they decided this? This is creative direction. Somebody told them to do this.
Well, I hope they were fired as soon as that shit was out.
Well, I mean, the Rock went like this
it was
afterwards.
on the decline.
That's a good point that you bring up, the creative directiveness, and I think that goes into some of the reasoning behind that we see some of the sophomore slumps. Sometimes you have guys like the Young Guns that are surprising first acts, or sometimes you have guys that are much anticipated first albums, and following that, the label tries to put their hands on it a little bit too much, and they take away from what you said. That first album, everything goes into it. That's your whole life, like you said. Yep. Going into that album, you've always wanted to be a rapper. Now, on the second album, you're trying to adjust to being a rapper, and not only being a rapper, but so many different so many different hands in the pot when people are commenting now on your music. So I think it has a lot to do with it.
Bro. They feeling themselves, and they don't know which direction to go because you got the labels that's cutting the check, telling you to go in one direction.
Exactly.
You got your heart is telling you to go in another direction, and the fans are telling you to go in another one.
Yeah, they wanted a commercial hit, because Can't Stop, Won't Stop, and Better Love did well commercially.
Right, for sure.
So they wanted to follow that up.
That album was terrible. When I think Sophomore Slump, first thing comes to my head is Mace. $. Harlem World was fire. Very nice debut album, but that's when Bad Boy was cooking. And then he dropped that Double Up album, and that shit was terrible.
It took me a long time to admit this because Mace was my guy.
That was your man.
I went and bought this Double Up album from Green Hills Mall. That Sam Goody that was downstairs or whatever store that was. But it took me a long time to admit it because it's a couple of fire songs.
It's got a handful. Okay. Max.
All right, as long as y'all admit that. All right,
Man, this album was
Max.
The cover was bad.
Oh, the cover was worse. The cover was bad.
Man, the cover was bad. The ugly suit, man, he looked like Joe Camel.
He looked like he was about to be a pastor.
Yeah,
actually.
he did. Yeah, that's a good
what the
point.
cover
He
looks
looked like he was finna go start preaching. That's exactly what they looked like.
I thought about Double Up, and I figured it out. He lost to Ghostwriters.
I thought Mace wrote, though.
Nah.
Mace wrote.
He wrote for Puff.
He wrote Puff shit.
Oh, so y'all don't... Jay-Z wrote for Mace. Y'all don't know that?
No.
I never knew.
Mace wrote More Money, More Problems.
I knew they were dissing each other in a song, but I didn't know they were writing
for the right price. I can make your shit tight.
I
Talking about Mace.
I ain't biting.
I thought he was talking about Puff.
That's a fact.
I thought he was talking about Puff right there.
No, he's talking about Mace.
I thought he was talking about Puff in reference to Mace.
Check your own videos. You always be number two. Talking about Mace.
Talking about Mace.
Yes.
But I thought he was talking about the writing part in reference to Puff. Because
everybody knew Puff had Ghost.
Yeah, everybody know this shit.
I ain't know that Mace had no Ghost Rider.
I don't believe it.
Oh, that's a fact. Look it up. It's a fact.
Mace wrote for he wrote for Puff too.
That doesn't mean that Jigga didn't give him some heat.
Okay, that's fair.
Maybe like a hook.
Well, I'm not saying you can tell the decline.
That's true.
You can tell
the decline is apparent.
When Hov stopped fucking with him.
When
Hov stopped fucking with him, he was nothing.
That's true.
Yeah. Happens.
I'm gonna tell you another one.
Wait, let me give you one that neither one of you guys would mention because y'all probably didn't like the first album. But that first album was a major hit when it came out, and it was highly regarded.
What's that?
And as that first Savage Life. That first Savage Life was
Yeah, I
straight
get
through Webby. And then that second one came out, and it's absolute garbage. Absolute trash, bad game. And I think it was one of those things where we were just talking about. The label gets involved. That first album, I know Webby could rap, but I don't think people expected it to do as well as it did because it came out the same weekend as that first G's. It came out, and people were listening to that in comparison to it. So I don't think people expected it to be so good.
Were they?
Yeah. Well, maybe not on Glenwood. Maybe not on Glenwood. I don't know what y'all be doing on Glenwood
in comparison
per
to
Mxtra, but everywhere else in the world, they was banging at Savage Life, and the part 2 was just a letdown, man.
But everything since Savage Life 1, you could say was a letdown.
Yeah,
his whole career has been.
That's what I'm saying. So maybe that was just an anomaly.
Right,
and
y'all might he had good stuff before Savage.
He's funny on social media.
He is very funny.
Breakfast Club. Charlotte McGay.
Yeah, that's classic.
Charlotte McGay.
When I think
Angela Gee.
When I think Sophomore Slump, I also have to go to, and it's tough because they were a powerhouse at one time. But when I think G Unit, they first album and that whole push that they had coming out, that shit was dope. Beg for Mercy, it's a fire ass group album. But that second shit, the Terminate on Sight, is fucking like G Unit's Fall Off is bananas and really doesn't get talked about enough because you could argue, you could go the whole round. Everybody's first album was fire with the exception of Yo. We're not really, nobody's really counting that. Everybody's first album is fire, and damn near everybody's second album is a fall off from the first. You can look at Game with Doctor's Advocate. That's a fall off from Documentary. You can look at Lloyd Banks, Rotten Apple. That's a fall off from Hunger for More. And then you can look at the G Unit album.
Buck album was better, though, wasn't it?
No, it was a solid album, though. Oh, okay. It wasn't better than the first one, though. He probably had the 2 most consistent records out of the clique, not counting Massacre and Get Rich or Die Trying. But the Terminate on Sight G Unit album is atrocious. It's like 3 good songs on there. Maximum, like they run it was like they run ended for everybody at the same time, and I still haven't figured out why or how.
What we were just talking about with Kanye and TDE, had they pump the brakes a little bit and not try to control this moment more so than extend it out and be here for 10 years as opposed to 10 weeks, I think the G Unit may have been around longer.
Them checks rolling in, though.
Yeah, they are, but I mean, you just got to figure out how to pace yourself. And 50 probably did the worst as a A-list artist at pacing himself. He literally to the point now where you don't want to hear anything that he has to say unless it got something to do with power. I don't like, bro. 50 could come out with he could come out with a track that got the best producer, whether you go get Tay Key, whoever. He can have the best feature, and I swear it wouldn't do anything because he burnt you out. He burnt you out from Mxtra to whatever you want to go to, like. That little small period of time, it was just too much. And now we know that.
That's true.
That's why I think QC needs to slow down.
I disagree completely because I feel like if your artistry going to rise to the top. Cream going to rise to the top regardless. So if you're a consistent artist, Jay-Z put an album out every year.
Yeah.
Here's the thing,
That's what I'm saying. You have to, a lot of artists, if you're good, you're going to stay around. They just weren't that good.
Okay, that's a great point, and I think they know that. Master P knew that he didn't have great talent. 50 knew that he didn't have great talent, so they try to get it all to you out here real quick and get that check, like you said. Ain't no way I'm going to extend it out 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and people start to catch on and they stop buying it. So in turn, I'm going to give you these 2 Yayo albums in 9 months as opposed to giving it to you in 18 months.
I disagree in terms of like them not having talent though, because they've got too many. G-Unit has a nice discography. It's just that they when they hit that wall, they crashed hard.
I tell you this, they're not as talented as as the success yielded from when they first came out.
Yes,
they are talented. You're right.
Right.
But they not like Lloyd Banks, Young Buck, Tony Yayo are not #1 rap group in the world talented. They've never been that.
I think what happens was when you're not cool anymore, that adds it to, because 50 you could argue some of the records that 50 has brought out last 2 or 3 years. He had one with Chris Brown, one with Jeremiah. They weren't just terrible records.
Man, when they called,
that's what I'm saying.
A couple good songs,
but nobody cared because he's not cool, air quote cool no more in terms of music. He's not relevant, so it doesn't matter. We've seen that a million times.
And this time and climate that music is in, of course, 50 is considered old. So he took time off. So it's hard for him to, come back and stake his claim like that. He can drop a couple of good records, but people are not checking for him. As far as just the talent of the roster, it was just okay. It was mediocre talent, so it's not going to last.
He was the engine.
If we keeping it 150, just a mediocre talent.
That's what I'm saying. The roster in general. Game was the best rapper by far on G Unit. By far.
No,
that's debatable.
No.
You think Lloyd Banks was the best rapper?
Probably bar-wise.
But Game overall was the best. I mean, it shows. Look at Game's career compared to everybody else.
That's true.
That
is true. Another album that I think of immediately is Snoop Dogg's Dogfather.
Oh my God.
We all know Doggy Style is a classic record. That's where we start all of our rankings and the whole 9 with this particular show. Man, that Dogfather came out though. He got the perm on the front, the vapors on there and shit, bro. Like it was a huge fall off, man. Like I haven't listened to it in a while because there's no need. But I don't remember if Dre left. Like I don't remember who was behind it and what made it so some slaw as compared to Doggy Style. I can't remember how much Dre involvement, but you have to think that he wasn't there. Like he couldn't have been.
I'm trying to think now, and I just do not remember. Was it for real?
No.
Was that before the Pharrell phase?
Did you just say for real?
He did have a Pharrell phase.
Yeah, but this was like 95 I'm talking about. Dogfather came out in the mid-90s. For real, and Snoop got together in 2004.
2000,
right?
Yeah, 2001.
Yeah, we're just a little off.
Relax.
But that album is trash. I try to forget about it, but I immediately think of that when I think of Sophomore Slump.
Yeah, I don't think Dre was on that album. I think because this was Snoop's last album on Death Row, and I think Dre.
So this is when they had split up, done the whole thing. With Suge made him drop this album. So maybe. Maybe he was mailing it in.
The cover was all right, though.
That's true. He might have just mailed that shit in.
What was on the cover?
I mean, he did it like The Godfather.
Oh, yeah. That
was he did The Dogfather.
Yeah, that shit was some slaw. I'm be real. Puff Daddy Forever is trash, too.
Oh, yeah.
Which follow up to No Way Out, which was fire.
No Way Out was classic.
And Jeezy Thug Motivation 102 was absolutely way below what we expected as far as 102.
Oh, is that the one where he had the song and he was like hypnotized? Or he didn't say hypnotized
that was the lead
correctly?
single.
Yeah, that was
hypnotized.
Bad.
I'm so hypnotized.
The reason
and
that
R. Kelly was on that album too.
The reason that isn't as good as the first one, I think. I think he was really feeling himself. He stopped rhyming. Like there was bars that weren't even rhyming. Like he was really in his bag. You couldn't tell Jeezy shit when that shit came out.
He was on that whole "I ain't gotta be a rapper" type shit.
Yeah,
I'm Snowman.
And it's like, nah, bro. And it's not horrible though. Like I wasn't even gonna sit here.
This is worst album. Well,
No,
excuse me.
stop.
These recent ones I really don't even count. Like the Church in the Streets and
Church in the Streets wasn't that bad though.
just relax.
Wasn't that bad.
It was that bad.
This isn't just horrible. There's a couple joints on there. Bury Me a G on there. That shit hard.
Bear Me a G is hard.
There's some joints
The
on
first
there.
Song
one
with
was-
T.I. is hard.
The first one was just so good.
And the
It's
impact
it's
was
really
bananas.
hard.
So
It's really
hard,
hard.
yeah.
Yeah. And the impact was crazy.
Any other albums jump out to you?
The Notorious K.I.M.
Yeah, because that Hardcore is a classic female hip hop album.
No, it's a classic. All my female fans, it's a classic.
I'm
rap
just
album, period.
categorizing it.
That album's man.
But
Hardcore.
That's probably the best female album ever.
it's up there.
It's up there, yeah.
You know what? The fall off. The reason for that fall off is easy though.
Oh yeah, we know.
Big, stop writing the raps.
Same
Rest
thing
in peace, Big.
Yeah.
We know why that fell off. And that Notorious K.I.M. is trash. Had the Cisco single. That motherfucker some slow. That album was garbage. She did bounce back though, because that La Bella Mafia banging.
La Bella Mafia was hard.
Yeah, that album is hard.
That album, I ain't gonna lie. That album
That
was
shit
hard.
banging.
Yeah, for sure.
2 Chainz Boats 2 was some slow.
You crazy.
Oh no, I can't give you
That's
that.
a
way.
It's a fall off though.
That album banging.
It's a fall
But the
off.
first boast is so good.
Oh my goodness,
And then first of all, that first boast is so good, and that second one,
it was
2
so
or 3
good.
bad. So yeah, the first boats, the first one
it's
with no
cool.
lie, with
It's
no
cool.
lie, and
Cool, man.
It's cool, bro.
It's so good.
I know that's your man, but it's cool. Let's just be
that
honest.
first boats is like 4.5 mics. That second boats is like 3.5.
What is Pretty Girls Like Trap Music? 8 mics?
Nah, that first boats is his best album.
Nah.
4.5 mics.
Yeah, that first boats. I still listen to that today. I listened to it today, actually.
That's just because it's your man's.
That
As
is
long
my
as you
man's.
know that.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
That's 100% true.
What about Jay-Z in My Lifetime Volume 1?
Relax.
That ain't
Relax.
that's not we're not categorizing that as a sophomore slump album.
No.
That album is 3 songs away from being a classic.
I think that album put him on.
Yeah, and it's a bad video away from being a classic.
That album really was when people started talking about Jay. That was the first time I heard of
But
Jay-Z.
comparison to Reasonable Doubt, though, bro.
But you got to think.
People weren't listening to him.
Exactly.
Then.
When
You had to
Volume 1
double
came
back.
out, people didn't even think Reasonable Doubt was all that. You got to think about that.
Yeah,
And
People
Big
came
died
back.
too. Big died. Helped him. That helped him too.
that's true. That's true.
That came out around the time Big died.
Volume 1 has some hip hop staples on that.
No, it got some. Listen, it's got some
And
shit.
he got some classic lines.
Classic.
I pull up in a 4.0. You pull up in a 4.0. I'm in a 4.5. What's the difference
4.6.
between those two?
Right.
30 to 40 G's, cocksucker. What about that Wale Ambition album?
That shit fire.
I like Ambition. I
Is
don't know why.
it?
Yeah, I like Ambition
That's
a
my
lot.
favorite Wale album. That album, the shit. Now that Rick Ross Triller,
Triller is a
you
disappointment.
could say
I
that
used
was
to
a
like Triller a
disappointment.
lot back in the day, but I tried to go back and listen to that after we talked about it. That shit is some slaw.
It's
That's
got
nasty, Rick Ross
it's,
right
it's
there.
not top notch Rick Ross.
That's nasty, Rick Ross right there. He was leaving a lot to be asked for as far as a rapper. Just like
And also
bruh.
that Big Sean Hall of Fame.
See, but I didn't think Big Sean's first album was all that though.
Are y'all talking
second-
about another Big Sean?
The second album definitely wasn't it either.
Who? Who y'all talking about?
Big Sean's second album some slow.
Big Sean from Detroit?
Yeah. His second album trash.
He bounced back with that Detroit mixtape and then the following album,
True. The Dark Sky Paradise is fire.
Fire.
Ah, man.
But that second album is trash.
What do you
though.
mean? Why do you look?
I just think it was banging.
Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Oh no.
You must be talking about another album, bro. The
Nah.
Hall of Fame album trash. Especially what he did after with that Dark Sky Paradise. Is
And Dark Sky
superb.
Paradise is banging. I don't think Big Sean's had a really bad album though, so I can't. I wouldn't put it in the slump category. Is what I'm saying.
Shout out to the artists who have avoided the sophomore slump. Kanye Let Registration.
Oh my God. Late Registration is my favorite Kanye album.
Like people big up the College
It
Dropout,
is
one of
my
the best
favorite one,
debuts, but Late Registration is
Registration
bananas.
crazy.
T.I. Trap Music,
Oh,
fire. His second album was that's the classic.
that
you know
is
what I'm
the classic.
saying?
That is
Drake Take Care. That's another one that was.
my favorite Drake album.
That's a lot of people's favorite Drake album.
Yeah.
Why you like? Damn,
I
Spike.
knew we
he
had to
just hated.
get. I knew we had to get Drake in there.
Of course.
Way.
Big Life After Death.
No,
Classic double disc.
say less.
Yeah.
Second album again.
Every song.
Was
Stop.
Pac's second album Me Against the World?
What was his
Nah,
first
it was
album?
so
Strict-
many-
it was Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, I don't
Strictly
think
for
it-
my
Me
niggas
Against the
into
World
Apocalypse.
was
That was his third
my
album.
favorite Pac album for sure.
Yeah. Outkast,
Outkast,
AT Aliens.
Snoop second one. Yeah.
Woo!
The Hot Boy second album.
Their first album was fire though.
But the second one was still good though. Like, you can't live up to that
The
first one.
Guerrilla Warfare?
Yeah.
It was
The
good.
third one was when they fell off.
The third one was we don't even
hot
mention the third
garbage.
Hot Boys.
Yeah.
Eminem Marshall Mathers LP. That shit fire too.
What about Curtis?
That's his third album.
Curtis is 50. Well, I mean, we ain't counting the
Massacre
love
is
of
his
a
second
dollar.
album. Massacre is
Oh,
the
okay.
second
Well,
album.
what about Massacre?
I like that album.
You like that better than Get Rich or Die
Massacre
Trying?
isn't bad.
It's actually slept on. It's just too many songs. That's it. That's why they fucked up. They put too many songs on that Massacre. If they hadn't done that, people would look at it the same way as they look at Get Rich or Die Trying. Easy. But y'all do us a favor. Go on the Rap Chat. Let us know of some of your sophomore slump albums. Who didn't live up to the billing of their debuts, man? Let us know. What is the next music break? Mxtra.
Yes, we have a homegrown product for the next music break. It is Deontay Hitchcock featuring Childish Major. And this song is called
Changed for You.
Yes.
That's your man, Deontay Hitchcock.
Deontay Hitchcock.
Let's hit. We are back. Deontay Hitchcock. Is it Deontay or is it Dante?
I think it's Deontay.
All right.
Deontay Hitchcock. Let me know if I'm wrong, but I think it's Deontay Hitchcock. And that was him featuring Childish Major.
Changed for You. How you feel about a loop?
I like Deontay Hitchcock, and that was banging. I went to go check out this project as well. It was dope vibe to it. It's talking a lot about his relationship on here. I don't know if he just went through a breakup or what it was.
Yeah, he been in his relationship bag lately.
But I like the vibe. He can really rap. But dude has a very nice flow. I'm wondering how long it's going to take before we start to hear more about him.
Yeah, because his first project was actually pretty good. I was put on him about a year and a half ago, so he's pretty good. And this is
we played him on the show before.
Yeah. So this is from his Just a Sample 2. It's an EP he released last Friday as well.
Yeah, this song is banging. You're 2 for 2 for the first time ever on Deck. Congratulations. Nice bounce back from last week. Because this song was fire.
Yeah, it was.
Both of these were fire. Like Deontay Hitchcock, I got to check out that whole EP.
Yeah, it's banging.
That shit was dope. Before we get out of here, man, question of the week. All right, we talking producers, man. Dr. Dre, he turns 54 this month. Happy birthday, Dr. Dre. March babies, we in here. And Timbaland just signed a deal for his Mosley Music Group with Def Jam. My question is, which producer would give you the best chance at a hit in 2019?
Dr. Dre, just because I haven't heard a lot from him other than just working with Anderson .Paak lately. So if I wanted a hit and just the nostalgia that goes with it and saying that you got a Dr. Dre beat, I think people are more apt to listen to it, which is going to get you more spins, which is more likely to turn into a hit. I ain't never been a big fan of Timbaland style, no way, so I'm going to lean towards Dr. Dre. So
Dr. Dre hasn't had a hit. We're not counting Anderson .Paak, and I can't tell you when the last time he produced a hit. You can at least go to Jay-Z and look at the last time that Timbaland had a hit, because he had a couple of hits on that Blueprint 3. Which it may not have been Blueprint 3. It may have been Magna Carta.
A couple of hits?
I mean, he's at least had a hit more recently than Dr. Dre has.
But you just said you can't count Anderson .Paak.
Right, you just like...
Yeah, I'm not counting that. I'm talking about rap shit. This is a hip-hop show. We're talking
people
rap
talk about
shit.
Anderson .Paak in the rap.
That shit's trash.
He just want to pick dude. He just want to pick Timbaland because he's a Timbaland fan.
Timbaland will
What's
give
trash?
you. I don't like Anderson .Paak. I can't get into the music.
Oh, you don't like? Oh,
Yeah, and I'm just not a fan.
Okay, yeah,
I like Anderson .Paak.
A lot of people like Anderson .Paak.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm sleep on that.
He's dope.
He's all right. I like his live shit though.
He slid.
His live shit is kind of dope though. His Tiny Desk concert was lit. But no, I'm going Timbaland though. Easy.
Tiny Desk concert.
That shit was
Never
hard.
watched one of those.
You ain't never
Anderson .Paak
NPR music
hard.
Tiny Desk.
You don't never click on those.
Oh, those are great. Mac Miller's was amazing.
Yeah, his was tough.
It was really good.
I'm going Timbaland. Who you got though, Dre or Timbaland?
Oh, that's tough. In today's climate, I gotta go with Timbaland because Dre is such a perfectionist music wise. If I want to just catch a quick wave, I'm gonna go with Timbaland because Dre would take too long with my shit.
I was waiting on you to say like DJ Toomp or something like that.
Oh, love to have Toomp.
I knew it.
Oh
Just
my
like
God.
just take
What?
Atlanta.
Get
Just
Toomp
give me
out
an
of
Atlanta
retirement?
person.
Shaking my head.
Yeah.
I'm saying Timbaland too because he at least got that bounce too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
That
current
for now.
Right.
Timbaland, you gotta get
And I wasn't shitting on Toomp and I just knew you
can't.
you're Atlanta bias.
Toomp is an Atlanta legend. Don't do it.
This is true.
He a legend, period.
I'm glad you recognized that.
Yeah, I fuck with Toomp.
On Decker of the Week, we've got 2 this week, man. They're both coming from YouTube. Shout out to Sean Wash. Salute to On Deck. This is one of the dopest podcasts out. You guys cover all the bases when it comes to the culture, and even the OndeckTV playlist on Tidal is fire. Keep up the great content.
Rock City.
Appreciate that,
Rock
big dog.
City. If
Wash.
You don't know, you're already slow.
And shout out to Loco Swag 88. My boy put me on years ago, and I listen every week religiously. Keep holding it down. We appreciate
your
those
local
comments.
swag.
Good looking. Go to youtube.com/OndeckTV podcast and subscribe to the YouTube.
Also, go to iTunes, rate, subscribe, like. That helps us get the show out there to the rest of the people who are unfortunately not listening yet.
Absolutely, man. Mxtra, we got music. What's coming up?
This week we have your boy Nav is coming back out with an album this week.
Yeah, I'm
Bad
sleep.
Habits.
Who is that?
Nav.
You don't even want to know.
No, Nav.
He's
What's he
some-
on EXO? You
Yeah.
know Nav with
I'm good.
yeah.
Sleep.
Chief Keef and Zaytoven.
Oh,
Had one coming out.
They came out. They came out last week.
Let's go.
Oh yeah, this came out last week. Yeah.
I'm here for that new Chief
Yeah.
Keef.
I tried to listen to that too.
What's it talking about?
That's how slow last week was musically. I tried to listen to that Chief
Well,
Keef.
It turns out that it wasn't because we got this Deontay Hitchcock
That's
project
true.
that came out, and the Maxo project came out Friday as well,
Yeah,
along with
fact.
this Glotoven.
You sent
That
your boy
shit
out. Did that just
trash.
come out? Tiobe, Nuetske.
Oh yes. Oh, also yes. Tobe and Ikwe EP just came out. I'm glad you mentioned that. I really
his
like
name.
it. It's a dope
You
project.
really
so check
gotta
it out.
change that name.
That's his name. What do you mean?
You can't rap with a name like that.
Apparently you can. So, moving on. Nav,
Excuse me
Rich
for
the
trying to make
Kid.
money here.
Rich the Kid. The World Is Yours 2 is coming out as well,
I'll listen to that.
and some guy named TL Cinco 2.0 Cinco is coming out as well.
Shout out to
2.0
him.
Cinco.
Also, 2 weeks ago we missed it. Did y'all see the Def Jam compilation, Undisputed? They put out a compilation of all their new artists on the label. They're doing a whole rebranding of Def Jam.
Chip was on that one.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, yeah.
Chip was on there. Thank God, because they need him. Because that roster is quiet. It's probably about 3 joints on
They
there.
got
that
Maxo
rock.
on it though, right? He's a Def Jam artist.
Possibly. I don't
Payroll?
remember if he was on there.
Was Payroll on there?
No.
What?
Nah, this was all. I had never heard of anybody on there. They had maybe 1 or 2 features, like Tiger, and I think YG was on the song.
Right.
Other than that, it was all new Def Jam artists, their
Trying
new
to push 'em out.
generation.
Yeah. And to piggyback, that Tobe and Ikwe EP is called 3 Originals. So go check that out.
I have no interest in listening to that. I'm gonna be real. Shout out to him though.
Yeah, he's fire.
What you got on
Change
deck
that
for the
name,
weekend?
man? I'm continuing my workout, man. I'm getting back to it, like I said.
Okay.
I'm almost back in shape. You ready? You ready to join me, MX, or what?
When anytime you want to race up that mountain, I'm good.
I'm
bro.
definitely
You get
not
smoked.
racing, though. That's the last thing that's going to happen is racing, nigga. What you got up?
I am in that Us Jordan Peele movie Thursday
Yeah.
night. Got my seat
Yeah.
on deck. I
Yes,
can't
sir.
wait. 7
Go see
o'clock. I cannot.
You already got your
fucking
ticket and
wait.
everything.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to see Us this weekend. Haven't decided what day I'm going to see it. I'm thinking about Thursday, but March Madness is Thursday. I don't know how my schedule's going to be.
Did y'all listen to the interview I sent with him in the group chat?
I did.
Did it scare you?
No.
No,
Scared me.
it scared you.
To thinking the movie not gonna be good.
Yes.
I think the movie's not
Oh.
going to be Get Out, and so you got to get that out your head.
Well, he
now.
did.
I know it's not going to be Get Out, but I think that just how he was talking about some of the stuff that he tried to play with as far as a filmmaker and some of the boxes he said that he didn't get into and you may have thought that he didn't. It kind of, to me, is cold talk for you might not like this.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
It got 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I think that he's bracing people for it to not be
being
Get Out.
Oh, he
Yeah,
just
that's
tweeted
fair.
about it
That's
yesterday.
fair.
He said Get Out was a documentary. He said Us is a horror film.
Yep. So do not compare the
Yeah,
two.
no, you can't compare.
Come with
apples to
fresh
Documentary.
eyes.
Yeah.
But I'm ready for that. I'm on that. What you on this weekend, bro?
Oh, I'm going to see Us as well. That's my only highlight for the weekend, I think. I'm going to be low-key this weekend, working on some on-deck stuff.
I like that.
Fantastic.
Low key like a midget locksmith. Follow us at OndeckTV podcast. Like we already done said, YouTube, iTunes, all that good shit.
Go to the rap chat, join the conversation. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Give us your Sophomore Slump albums as well.
Absolutely, man. We out. We'll see y'all next week.
Gone.